Have you ever wondered why you cannot become successful? Why are you having a hard time making more money? Why are you having so much trouble when you invest your hard-earned money in people's programs that are supposed to help you get rich? Because if you just follow their blueprint, you follow their roadmap, you follow their funnel, you do all of the stuff that they're telling you to do, and it doesn't work, and you're wondering, why is it not working for you? Or if you have minimal success, you're wondering why you can't make the leaps. Now, in this video, it's very important. You need to go ahead and get a piece of paper out, because what I'm about to show you is the reasons why you are not able to become successful. And number one, it is not your fault. But after I make you aware of what I'm going to make you aware of, it will be your fault, because you're going to be making a conscious decision. Now, let me tell you something. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. What I want to do is I want to give you the information, and I want you to test it, because then you'll know for yourself. So you can erase the Steve is trying to convince me to do something. You can erase like I'm trying to sell you something, because I'm not here to sell you anything. I'm here to give you information so you can become aware of what is happening to you with buying programs, or even if you have a business right now and you're not able to make it successful, like you're having a hard time, I'm going to give you those answers, because I understand that you want to have a lifestyle, you want to be able to do what you want to do, you want to make a lot of money, some of you want to get rich. It doesn't matter, whatever that is, that's what's important to you. And in this video, I'm gonna help you understand the mind and body process. That everything that you hear from either me or from someone else, or a book or a video, or you're watching TV, whatever, whenever you're getting information, I'm gonna show you how to understand how your body and your mind is processing that information. And once you start to understand that, you're going to become aware of, number one, some of the things that you believe that are not necessarily true, or those things could be holding you back and you don't even know it. So let's get right to it. I'm going to be referring to my notes. So now, first, what I want to do is I've made a video about this before. So I want to lay the foundation. I want to give you something concrete, so you can say, hey, I have this to build upon. Because if you have something concrete, something solid that you can build upon, then you can start testing things, and you know that the concrete, the foundation of it is solid, and you don't have to worry about that. So as you test things on top of it, you'll be able to really like put your all into it, because you know the foundation is solid. It's just like building a house. You build a solid foundation, and then the next thing that they did is they started testing, you know, let's build a house with this, let's build a house with that. And then once they did everything they did with testing, we started having wood and brick houses. You know, maybe they tested it with clay and mud before and it fall apart, but the foundation was solid, so they could start right back over again. That's exactly what you're going to be doing. So it's not going to always feel good. It's not going to always be easy. It's some of the stuff you're not going to understand, but I'm going to give you the information, and you're going to become aware of it, because this is exactly how your mind works. And when I say your mind works, I'm including myself. But this video is about you. It's about helping you. So first, let me let you in on something that you've known about your whole entire life, but you just really didn't understand it the way that I'm about to make you aware of it. Is, let's just say you're getting some information, a piece of information from me or someone. It could be anyone, just whoever. Just imagine some information that you've never heard before. So you get that information. You see that information. This is the thing that you need to be aware of. You're going to see that information. But what we don't understand is that when we see information, we are actually looking at that information from it's like it reflects back, and then it goes into our mind, and we actually see that information based on our process on the inside. That's how you can have one person see something one way and one person see the same thing another way. The reason why that happens is because the internal processes that we have inside of us. So I have this labeled. Number one, we see, but we see that information filtered. We have a filter. Now, what is that filter? On the inside of us, we have an internal process. So this stuff happens in a split second. It's not like it goes here and then you got to think about it and it comes out. No, it's instantly. This is stuff that you're used to doing instantly. So before I get to that part, I want to give you an example so you can understand this. There's this a joke, and comedians say this a lot with the black comedians. They'll say, "I had my white friends over, and I was over my white friend's house, and they were acting up, and their parents said, hey, clean, messed up the room, came in the room and said, hey, Johnny, clean your room." And they said it real nice. And then the next thing they said, hey, Johnny, clean your room. Said it that same way. Now, for the black family, Johnny's over at the black family's house. Mom comes in, clean your room. And with the white kid, didn't really move around too urgently to clean the room. White kid is over the black kid's house. Mom comes in, clean the room. Kid starts to clean the room. And now here's the whole part of the joke, but it's not really a joke. It really goes into the processes of people's mind on how stuff is built. So with the process of the young white child, they already know built in the way that their parent is going to react. So they've already built the process on what they're going to do when they hear that. So it doesn't matter if their parent gets mad and says it. It doesn't matter if their parent says it nice. See, that's the thing. Your subconscious mind doesn't go like this. Oh, that was mad, or that was a mad way of doing it. Oh, no, that was a nice way of doing it. And with the black family, that if the parent comes in nice and says it in a angry way or an excited way, that the subconscious mind does not know any of that difference. What does know the difference? Here it is. And this is the secret to you becoming successful or changing things in your life, is that your internal process knows that there's a difference. So let's just say you see some information and it comes back to you. Your internal processes, the pictures, the sounds, the feelings, what you see, the taste, even though you may not be tasting something at that time, it's going to go through that whole process and you're going to react. You're going to react from that process. So back to our example with the young white kid, going to start doing whatever they do from the process. Black kid is going to start doing what they've always done from the process. And this is where we start to learn things. Like at first, before it becomes about money, before it becomes about all of that other stuff that's financial, the processes start to get built on what things mean to you. And during that whole thing there, we do learn stuff about money, also about the value of money, about investing, or not learning about investing, or not learning how to handle money. We start to put those processes inside, and they start to show themselves when we become adults. So now we get that information. It goes here, it runs through our process. When it goes through the process, this is something that it does. It says, what does this mean to me? It's in an instance. It's in an instant. What does that information that I just got mean to me? Remember, everything that you do in life is really, you only care about yourself. When it's ultimately down to it, bottom line, you only care about yourself. And so in an instant, you're going to be thinking, what does this that I just saw runs through this process? what does each piece mean to you? And sometimes certain pieces may not need to get used. So maybe what you see, what you feel in the pictures that come to your mind and the sounds is going to be used over the taste, because there's nothing to taste. And when I say pictures, when I'll say a word like car, you don't see the word car, you see a car, a picture of a car, whatever that car is. You may even see a certain color of a car. Like when I just said that, a car, I saw a white car in my mind. Like that's how the process works with everything that you do. Now stay with me, because I'm going to give you an example of how this is used against you in a sense. How your own processes are used against you to be able to sell you stuff like marketing courses and how to get rich courses, consulting courses, all of that stuff. I'm going to show you. Now, some of the people, I'll admit, they do not understand. Some of them are doing this and they don't understand, but the ones that are way up there, I'm not going to mention any names, but the ones that are way, way, way up there, they absolutely know what they're doing. And that's what makes it kind of scare me, because they will not teach people how to do this stuff that I'm about to teach you. What I'm about to share with you is like, it's like some of the most secretive information that is right there out in front of our faces on how to get people to buy stuff. So now the next thing is, once you understand what this means to you, there's going to be actions that you're going to take. Some people take no action. Some people take action. Now, let me tell you what the actions are actually built upon. And this is where you will be like this, where you'll be like trying to do something and then you'll come back. Trying to do something and then you'll come back. It's because these actions are built on this. The top reason for actions is your spiritual or universal beliefs. That's the top reason. The next one is your identity belief. Who do you believe you are? What is your purpose? That identity. How do you identify yourself? I'm a businessman. I identify as a businessman. I identify as a family man. I identify as a rich person. I identify as a wealthy person. I identify as a information provider. I identify as a person who wants to get information. Your values belief. What do you value about yourself? What do you value about the things that you have, things around you, the people, everything? What are your values? Your behavior beliefs. What are the ways that you believe that you behave? Like, how should you behave? Like, you know, some people behave a certain way in front of certain people. Some people behave a different way in front of other people. What are your behavior beliefs? Your capability beliefs. What do you believe that you're capable of doing? What do you believe you're not capable of doing? And then environmental beliefs, which is the lowest level. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on these, but that's what's going to stop you, or either help you or stop you or hinder you from being able to take massive action. So now, let's get into the part about how people sell you stuff. So right now, you need to like this video. You need to like this video. What I'm about, this right here, what I just shared with you, if you just understand this, you're going to be a lot further in life, because you can understand that there's a process, that when you get information, it's running through a process. And just quickly, to show you how to fix your processes, is just to understand that everything here, that what it means to you is something that can be changed. So if you just think of yourself, let's just imagine that these are like little bitty file folders in your brain. And when you see something, it clicks the file folder, and the file folder starts pulling all of this stuff in. And then all of that stuff is formulated in a second to say, this is what it means to me. All of it. The whole picture, everything, this is what it means to you. all you have to do is understand and say to yourself, is that what it actually means? Because that's one of the things, one of the biggest issues that I've seen with business owners. Let me give you a quick example. Let me tell you a quick story. Business owner A gets information to help market their business and be successful. Business B gets the same information to be able to market their business and be successful. Go back a few months later, business A is on the way to success. Business B, not on the way to success. Why is the difference? When I used to go around consulting with companies, I used to, like, it would be like, why is that happening? I used to be wondering, like, you know, why you got the same information as this business and you're successful. You're on your way. You're going to, you know, your business is really taking off. And then the other business owner is not taking off. And when I started to study and started to really just quiet myself and pay attention when I was talking to these people, they had internal processes that were making them either take no action, or the actions that they were taking, they were negative. So they were actually filtering through the sounds, the taste, what it meant to them, the file folders, and the action that they were taking was negative actions. They were taking steps in a negative way. And so I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Success starts on the inside first. If you're negative on the inside, things are going to be negatively affecting you on the outside. Things that you try to do are not going to work the way that they should work. Not to say that they can't inch up, but you could have a lot quicker success, a lot more success if you go into it with a positive mental attitude. So now, let's get to it. This here, and you can do some research on this, it's called the Thorndike effect. It's telling story, hypnotic. It's a way of telling stories, but it's a hypnotic way of telling stories. And see, here's the thing, is that whenever stories are told, whenever a story is told, we have a tendency to put ourselves in the middle of the story. Why do we have a tendency to put ourselves in the middle of the story? It's because we only care about ourselves. So if you're telling me a story and I can't put myself in the middle of it, I'm not even really interested in listening to the story. So this is why some of the times when you're talking to someone and they're saying stuff back to you, you're going to also insert and be like, I'm going to up you. So they said, like, my tire got flat on the street over on 27th Street. You'll say, oh, my tire got flat up on the freeway. They say, oh, my tire got flat on the freeway up on the bridge that was 100 feet high in the air and cars were flying by me. This is the way that we go back and forth. When today, when you're talking with your friends and family, you'll see that now that I've made you aware of it. So with the Thorndike effect, what happens is that we tend to put ourselves into the story. And this is something that allows people to be able to get you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. I'm going to say it again. The Thorndike effect, a way of telling hypnotic stories, is a way to, number one, get you to insert yourself into the story, because this is our own internal process. You cannot avoid doing it. You cannot avoid doing it, especially if it's done the right way. And it bypasses the critical factor. It bypasses the critical factor. So now, let me give you a quick example before I read this. If we are friends, and network marketing people, they use this all the time, the companies. They tell you to go out there and talk to your friends and family and invite them to come and look at the opportunity. The reason why is because when you're talking with friends and family, the critical factor wall will start to come down. And then when they come in and they listen to the presentation, they use stuff just like this that I'm about to read to you. So now I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what was done to the audience. This is something that is real, by a well-known book author or self-help author that was on a lot of shows, and I'm just not going to mention any because I don't want to get this video banned. But So now here, this is what the individual said. And you'll probably, if you've heard about this, you could kind of put two and two together. It says here, I guess my claim to fame is that I owned at least a dozen different businesses before I reached the age of 30, including one of those businesses was only one of the first retail business stores in all of North America. The interesting thing about that company is that I started that business with $2,000 that I borrowed on my Visa card from and then from there I was able to open up 10 locations in only 2.5 years. And then I sold my company shares to H.J. Heinz Corporation, you know, the ketchup people, for $1.6 million. How many of you wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card loan and a couple of years later have $1.5 million in your bank account? So now, some of you probably started to get hypnotized by me saying that story. Some of you probably started getting hypnotized. This was written well. Some of the things that it had in here is that it gave you details for you to be able to follow. It told you from start to finish. It told you how and the end result. Now, but here's the things that you need to pay attention to. This paragraph that I just read is actually called behavior priming. It's a procedure process. So remember, I said earlier that you already have this process built inside of you and what it means to you and the actions that you will take. So what they've actually done with this paragraph is they've actually inserted something that will make you override. Let's just think about this. You have a computer program and you're going to do an update to that computer program, but you don't want to make the computer program unfamiliar to the user. When they go back to use it, you're just going to make a small update that they may not even understand that was even inserted, but they know it's an update. That happens all the time with computers. So now, what was inserted in there? So now, a suggestion in the future for this presentation that this individual was doing in front of a huge audience. There was something that was inserted in there that will make people do something. I'm going to give you a few seconds while I take a drink of my coffee to try to figure that out. What do you think? Put it in the comment box. And here's the crazy thing, is even if you know what they're trying to do, you don't know why it's happening unless you understand this. Because most of you are going to think, well, I invest to make some money. So now let's break that down real quick. What are some of the things that can be in the process automatically if you were to get that information? I can tell you one that comes to mind, and it's probably going to come to your mind, is takes money to make money. Takes money to make money. Takes money to make money. How many times have you heard that? How about this? If you have debt, you can turn that debt into wealth. Debt into wealth. Debt into wealth. Other people's money. Other people's money to invest. Other people's money to invest. This right there, process. But it's even deeper than that. That's surface. That's surface. It's even deeper than that. Because remember, people are going to be thinking that you're just trying to take their money. You're just trying to sell them something. You're just trying to, get my money. The stuff isn't going to work, all of that stuff. This was a very, the behavior priming in this was so deep that you probably don't even understand it. So now, it's number one, it's called behavior priming. So do your research on what behavior priming is. A process that is going to be a process that he wants the audience to take, a suggestion to the audience that he wants them to take at a later time. What is that? What is the process, and what is the action that he wants them to take at a later time? He wants them to pull out their credit card and go into debt because you will be rich. Remember, here's a statement. But he didn't say it that way. How many of you wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card loan? Their credit card that's in their pocket right now. How many of you wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card loan? I'm going to say it again because this is very, very subconscious in a process. You may not even understand when I'm saying it to you because you're stuck with listening to how many of you wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card loan. You are 100% stuck with what you hear with the words, but you don't even understand that something is being installed into your process and you don't even know. And a couple of years later, have $1.5 million in your bank account. A couple of years later, 2 years later, $1.5 million your bank account. Remember what I said with the pictures. Remember what I said with the feeling. Remember what I said with the seeing. Remember what I said with the taste. Remember what I said with the sounds. What does this mean to you? Let me do this. What does it mean to you? What is the action that you'd have to take? $2K credit card. You got to pull out your credit card, $2K. Why do you pull out your credit card, $2K? Here. What it means to you, split second. Why would you pull out your credit card? Why would you not pull out your credit card? Why would you do it? Why would you not do it? I could tell you with this seminar, a whole bunch of people did it. They were actually running to the back of the room. They were running to the back of the room. So now, here's the lesson, the end lesson, because there was a whole bunch of lessons in here. Remember what I said about why you take action on what you believe, spiritual, universal, your identity, your values, your behavior beliefs, your capability beliefs, your environmental beliefs, all of that. But see, the thing about it is that all of this makes people, like what you see here and what it means to you makes people skip a lot of that stuff. It can make you skip it because what was installed was installed with that. So in a sense, what they did is they overrode. Remember what I said? It's like a computer program. They overrode what you already had inside with information. Why were they able to override that with that information? Remember what I said earlier about the kid, the white kid, the black kid, the parent saying something to him over here, nice in an excited way or mean way. Black kid's parent said same thing, nice, mean way. Two different reactions. Subconscious mind does not know. Subconscious mind does know about all of these feelings. Subconscious mind knows what those mean to you. And when that information is presented to you, you're going to react the way that you've always reacted. But this is the difference, and this is what they don't tell you, and this is what I want you to really get from this lesson so you can be fully aware, is that when people install that information, in a sense, because your mind is wide open when you're sitting there listening to this presentation. Your mind is wide open when you're sitting there watching that presentation on Zoom or watching it on a website or reading about it. You become part of the story and you start seeing yourself in the story, and you're actually installing this stuff in yourself and you didn't even know it. You're installing that information and you didn't even know it. you are installing yourself, how many of you wouldn't mind starting with a $2,000 credit card? You are already picturing yourself doing this. You're picturing yourself doing it. The last step in the process is if you're going to take action. That's the last step in the process. And what they do is they build you up, but you're going to have to, at some point, take that action. And some people, you're either going to be aware and you're going to be like, I just don't want to do this. That's where I want you to be, because that's where I'm at. It's like, I don't want to do it. People present me with all type of stuff, franchises, buying my companies, doing other investments and stuff. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. The other thing, though, is that you don't have the money. You just flat out just don't have the money. Like, even though you want to do it, you just don't have the money. But that's an awareness factor, because once you become aware, money is not a factor. I started my first company, multi-million-dollar company, that is the foundation of all the things that I have. When I was 21 years old, started that business with $500. And $500 was only just a down payment on the computer. Back in 1991, computers were $2,500. I had to put it on layaway. But I started a multi-million-dollar company with $500 and financed the rest, not by going out there and getting loans. I financed the rest of the business by working with the vendors that I was going to be using their services to be able to sell those products. I was able to convince them, hey, you can depend on me, 21 years old, to be able to come through and do what I'm going to do. And you're going to provide this service for me so I can go out and resell that service. And that's taking massive action. So either you come to realization you just don't have the money, but then you know that you don't have the money, so you start to look at the ways to get the money to do what you need to do. And then the other way is that you got the money and you just say no. And if it's something that you believe that could help you, that's been demonstrated, that will be able to help you. But I'm telling you that 99.999% of all of these programs that these people are selling us out there, they don't really work. Very few of them really work. And it's not because they can't work. It's because they don't tell you what it will take to make it work. And it's not the technical stuff. It's the mental stuff. It's stuff like I just read to you right there. That is a way of selling to people without selling to people. So so you got, don't want to do it. You just make that decision. You got the money, but you just don't take action. You just, for something inside of you in your process, won't allow you to do it. And then you don't have the money. You want to do it, don't have the money, and you don't move forward, but you know. But the thing about it is that with whatever decision you make, you just want to make a conscious decision and not make an automatic decision based on the processes that are in front of you. And then understand of what they've just installed in you. And when you go to these seminars, when you listen to these Zoom calls, when you see these people online that are selling all of this stuff, they are running your mind through these processes. And a large group of people end up buying the stuff, which if they buy it, they buy it. But if you're fully conscious of the reasons why you're buying it, if you're fully conscious of what it's going to take to be able to be successful with whatever you're buying, that I have no quarrels with that at all. But if a person is selling stuff just to be selling stuff to people, I don't co-sign with that. I just don't co-sign with that. So I'm going to end the video here. We're a little bit long. Please like this video, post your questions and comments. This is Stephen A. Williams with Making Money with Stephen A. Williams here on YouTube.